Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Hunting with Purpose series. I probably mentioned it in the last recording, but you can really expect a big comeback for this series because I'm now going through 2 games simultaneously where I'm having to build on the character, which means that it wouldn't be appropriate for the format of Doomlink's live hunts because it's not a fully built character and I'm just going around hunting with random people. There is an element of randomness, I suppose, because I'm having to find random groups of people to play with, but there is a task at hand, and it is building my character. I'm not going to go into the details of how Hunting with Purpose differs from Doomlink's live hunts, but I'd like to think it's fairly obvious at this point. For those of you who are not clear on that, feel free to leave a comment, and I will expand on that point. You can see that we are in the game menu of Monster Hunter DOS. This is the first time that I'm recording this game on this channel, and I suppose there are various reasons why I haven't taken the time. I was actually considering... I am pressing the circle button, yeah. I had that weird moment where I was like, hold on, this is a PlayStation 2, and then I remembered, yes, it's a Japanese PlayStation 2 game. Instinctively, I pressed circle to make my selections, but then somewhere in my mind I'm like, is that really what I want to do? Yes, it is. Because, for those who are not familiar, any Japanese game that's on the PlayStation, well, just in general, they seem to like to make their selections on that side. What is the circle button for us, which is back, is for them a select button. And it's the same with Nintendo, you know, the A button is on the left, so... Excuse me, on the right. I don't know my left from right, apparently, which is not a good start to this recording, but anyway, this is my character. It is a fairly humble character in terms of its progression. It's really just starting out. It's taken a lot of time to go through the early game of Monster Hunter DOS. It's a lot of work. It's a very interesting game, and I've gone over my impressions of Monster Hunter DOS in other recordings, but it would be obviously most appropriate to discuss DOS in detail while I'm actually playing it, so I will endeavour to do that. But for now, I think I'll try to focus on what's happening on the screen, which is us signing into the network area, or the network mode of Monster Hunter DOS, which has actually been impossible for about 12 years now, which is really good news. I'm glad that we're able to do this now. This has only been the case, you know, for the last few days, actually. It was on the weekend when the servers actually went live, courtesy of Monster Hunter Old School. Now, I actually do have a new plugin on my keyboard here, which makes for a fairly seamless keyboard experience. And that should be my login details. Login successful. I actually need to try out that plugin on Monster Hunter 1 to see if it's quite as seamless. It was previously much more awkward to type. You had to, I think, press L1 and then L2 twice. So you'd press L1 once and then L2 twice, and then you'd be able to type in English. With the keyboard, which, to be honest, was a little bit of extra work that I'm not used to having to take the time to do, but yeah, that was the case in that game with an old plugin, an old keyboard plugin that I used to use. So I had to actually download a new plugin for my emulator to be able to type in this game. So apparently it also works with Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G, so hopefully it's as seamless as that, because this is really quite good. We're heading into the city. I think that was 31 people online. You can fit, obviously, 100 people in that one gate location. You will see more similarities to Tri here, for those of you who are familiar with Tri and Monster Hunter 1, but not Monster Hunter DOS. You will see more similarities here. We are still in Redland. I don't know what Redland is, to be honest. It's also referred to as that in Monster Hunter 1 and G. I don't know if it's a location. It might be a country. I don't know much about the details of Monster Hunter lore, and I apologize for that. I just know that we're going to Dondruma, I think it was originally called, but now it's been given the official translation of Dundorma. those of you who are familiar with Monster Hunter 4, I think specifically 4 Ultimate, I don't know if this location was in Monster Hunter 4, I don't think it was, so for those of you who are familiar with 4 Ultimate, you will know this place. It was a big surprise to see this in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. No one was expecting it, it was just out of the blue. What? They've brought back Dundorma. Why? The question of why was really because there were lots of locations that were unique to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate that were in that game, but then for some reason they decided to bring this place back, which was very cool. I had very minimal familiarity with Dundorma. I'm pretty sure it used to be called Dondruma. I just remember the name changing at some point. But, yeah, it was... Ooh, wow. Are those performance issues that I see when I turn here? God, it's like I'm playing on 4 Ultimate. I don't think they're performance issues. It sort of looked as if the game was slowing down, but I'm not too sure if that's really what I saw. I will, of course, be monitoring the volume of the game. I realize that it's fairly quiet at the moment, but who knows, maybe it'll be just the right volume for hunting. This is a bounty board. Pretty much certain monsters will give different bounties at any given time. It's basically a bonus associated with killing the monster, and we don't really need to worry about that right now. At this stage, I'd be quite content to just, get into a quest. Now, to move into a city, this is, okay, to draw comparisons to Tri, you know how in Tri you enter the city, but you have to get to the gates themselves? Or, sorry, you enter the gate, which is, an entrance to the city, and then to get into the halls themselves, you have to progress through into another screen. Now, that's actually just the regular entrance or exit, however you want to refer to it, in Lochlac, but here in Dundorma you have to go to the group board. It is through the group board that you are given this screen. Now, I don't really know what to expect here in terms of hunters. It may be difficult to find people to hunt with, or it may not be. It's entirely random. You can see that there's a pretty healthy number of people playing right now. I suspect that there will be a fluctuation in the number of people playing this game. At the moment, I'd say it will be at its peak for some time, and then there will eventually be a downward trend, and then perhaps after that point there will be a resurgence of interest, etc. I suppose what I was meaning to say was, I was tempted to say that this is the most popular this game will ever be because it just, basically launched with its new servers through Monster Hunter Old School. But you never know, there might be a resurgence that will allow the servers to be just as populated in the future as they are now. That's what I hope for anyway. Let's start having a look around through these rooms. We can get a summary of who's in the room this way. We've got people who are far too high of a hunter rank to bother hunting with me. I am hunter rank 1. These people, wow. This is a surprise to see people at this sort of hunter rank. How is that? Oh, they must have been people who were beta testing the servers. Okay. Because I was just thinking there's no way for them to amass that sort of hunter rank unless they had access to these servers beforehand. Unless, of course, they ported a save over, which I suppose is possible. I just wasn't imagining as many people doing that as compared with Tri, and the reason why is because there were just less people playing DOS online. It was a Japanese-only game, and it wasn't that easy to play if you didn't understand Japanese. Really, that is the point. So it was there was a smaller uptake when it came to that game. Many less people playing. Maybe I could join this room with Mao, because Mr. Chairman Mao over here is hunter rank 0, which means that he may actually want to hunt. I don't know the HR ranges here. I don't know if they are the same as Tri or if they are different. My guess is that they're different. They've already got a group of 4, so I'm not going to join them. That would be futile. And I have a feeling that these... which group? Was it this group here? These people may be within the HR range that I am in. Because that's what's important. I don't necessarily need to be their hunter rank, but as long as I can join the quests that they're doing, I will be able to obviously hunt with them, so there you are. This is Dundorma. It has many locations that I'm still familiarizing myself with. The hunting area is not there. That's the house. I'm misleading you. This is the tavern. This is where you go to hunt. Your house is here. It's this board here. It is your house menu, apparently. Oh, interesting. Yes, that's right. So I remember in Try you could visit other people's homes, and it seems that you can visit other people's homes in this game as well, which is nice to see. It's interesting to see where things were first introduced in terms of online Monster Hunter. I don't think that was possible in Monster Hunter 1 and G, but I could be wrong, because again, I only have limited experience playing Monster Hunter 1 and G online myself, so I suppose I wouldn't be an authority on that point. But yeah, I'll just take the time to investigate Dundorma and I guess learn its surroundings. These are all familiar scenes to me, but they're from vague memories and they were not from first-hand experience of playing the game. They were from seeing screenshots of a game that I never thought that I'd play. Genuinely, I just had no expectation that I would play this game at any point in the future, because I guess you can't possibly know the future. I couldn't have assumed that there would still be people wanting to play this game in 2023 that would bring the servers back. I have to tell you that last year, let's dial back the clock 12 months. I can tell you right now, there were very few people who were hopeful that we were going to get these servers anytime soon. I mean, they approached it very well, Monster Hunter Old School. They kept it on the down low, they didn't hype us up, and they didn't give us any, concrete expectations as for when we should expect these servers to be up. I think they said they let us know when they started working on them, but we were not given any indication of when until it was almost time, which is the best way to do it, because it doesn't cause you to set expectations that then may be dashed. Because sometimes with projects like these, passion projects, where really it's just these people wanting to give back to the community rather than doing it for any sort of financial gain, or perhaps you could say there might be a motive of recognition in the community, whatever, it doesn't matter, we're not looking at motive here. I guess my point is that they're doing it as a passion project. When you have projects like those, sometimes people get taken away by their commitments in life and can't put that time into the project, and things slow down and people can flake as well, and there are so many possible scenarios that would lead to a project like this being delayed. But I'll tell you what, from my memory, and I really should have double checked this before recording, from my memory, it took them about a year from when they started really working on it, which was great. They obviously were the people behind the Monster Hunter 1 and G servers being brought back, so I suppose once they had really capped that off, they were ready to start working on this. Maybe this presented less challenges than those games, I don't know. I'd imagine that this would have been challenging in its own way. But this is the armory, or the forgery, whatever you want to call it. You can purchase equipment there, by the looks of it, and then this gentleman here will forge your stuff. He's the foundry boss. I am actually looking to upgrade to the Princess Rapier here, keeping it simple, using sword and shield, and yeah, poison is a very good option in old Monster Hunter. This is old Monster Hunter, by the way, not fucking 3rd and 4th gen. For me, old Monster Hunter is 1st and 2nd. I'm saying hello. Look, I have full free type. Allow me to demonstrate for those of you who don't truly understand what I'm doing here. You see that? I can't press escape. I have to figure out what key I'm supposed to press. If I press escape on my keyboard, it will pause the emulation, which will cause me to disconnect, and it will also cause issues on the server. It's not guaranteed to cause issues on the server, but you don't want to take that risk. It can cause the server to go down, I think. Something along those lines, if I remember correctly. I don't know if there's any way of improving that or not. I don't know if that sort of instability or lightweight nature of the server can be fixed, but here we are. This is a much more appropriate location for 10 people. You're trying to fit 10 people into the tavern of Monster Hunter 1, or I guess we'll say Mineguard. You're trying to fit people into the tavern of Mineguard, oh my god. It's not good. It's... I can see that I am having speed issues here. Yeah, there are, shockingly, performance issues here. Why would I be getting performance issues in a fucking PlayStation 2 game? That's really quite upsetting, and I don't know if I have a way of fixing that or not. Probably not while recording. I'll just hope that hunts will be smooth, but that might be something that I have to work on, because I can see that the speed of my game is going down slightly. It's nowhere near as bad as For Ultimate when I record that sometimes, but yeah, this has been pretty bad. I will be nice and quick. I'm not actually going to eat anything. I'm just going to join up on this quest. Hopefully there is no requirement for it. We'll see what we've got here. I'm not seeing a requirement, so looks like we're going to be joining for Cephadrome here. My inventory should be acceptable. I've got... Oh, it is manifestly unacceptable, actually. Look at this. This is a fucking mess. Well, let's at least get some potions. I've got no potions at all. Why? Where are my potions? Some very serious hunting must have taken place. I don't know. Oh, I seem to remember hunting a Congalala. Yeah, that's what I did. God, I had had a lot to drink that night. That was, I think, the one hunt that I've done. I'd forgotten about that hunt, yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. I think I've done one single hunt so far, and it was that Congalala hunt while I was deep into a bottle of whiskey. So, hallelujah. We are departing now with a group of 4 people. I have got no idea if I can expect instability when I'm hunting with 4 people, but we'll find out. The loading screen being slow is pretty typical, by the way. I should warn you that that's fairly standard. I will bring a map, and Lord knows I might need these materials because I am probably not very well prepared for this. I will bring these sonic bombs. It's nice of them to... Oh, I think someone got them before I could. I probably don't need hot drinks, but I'll take what's on offer, because it doesn't look like other people are taking it. Okay, so I will make an admission to you all, and that is that I'm using BreakArts. Now, what BreakArts is a mod that allows you to basically play in a traditional way. Not in a traditional way. Playing in a non-traditional way, really. It's basically PSP Monster Hunter, but in Monster Hunter DOS, so I'm not using the analog stick controls. I was a little bit guilty. Oh, I felt guilty when I decided to install that, but quite frankly, I realized that even though I'm essentially comfortable with analog stick controls in Monster Hunter, PlayStation 2 Monster Hunter, I don't really want to feel like I'm forced to use that, you know? If I've got the option to not do it, I think the sensible decision would be to not do it. To take the alternative. Yeah, I can see that there are performance issues with this. This is frustrating. Fucking PlayStation 2, guys. You know, like, my system's got pretty good specs. It was a top-end PC in 2017. I mean, that you'd think would be appropriate for a fucking PlayStation 2. Maybe I need to... there must be settings that I need to edit. And so what I will do is ask for your endurance, my audience, and accept that the game might not run perfectly smoothly for this first hunt. But yeah. I'm currently using the Hydra Bite, just because there's no way I'm using that Gypceros weapon again. I've had enough of it. I need a scenery change, and quite frankly, making the Rathian Sword and Shield out of this is quite appropriate. Oh, I should mention as well, I was very, very much turned off by Sword and Shield when I first played DOS. I specifically remember that, because I remember it when I was first playing DOS, and I had to deal with it again when I started playing on this character as well, before I had break arts. I'm trying to remember what it is, but they swap the buttons around somehow. There is some sort of button swap that takes place, and it's really bad. I think it's something like you sheathe with circle, I think. Or no, you don't shield and drink like that. I can do it with break arts, but if I'm using the original controls, that's not actually how you do that. You, I think you press circle to eat, which is really weird because you'd think it would be, like that would be the button to sheathe. I just know that something to do with eating with your weapon out, and the controls associated with that cause me to accidentally eat instead of sheath my weapon, which is really annoying. So, my instincts tell me that it's, is that correct? Yeah. No. So I think that's what it is. That's what it is. So, basically how they do it, you know, usually if you've got your weapon out and you press square, that will sheath your weapon. Well, in this game, if you have your weapon out and you press square with the sword and shield, it will eat whatever you've got there, which means you have to press circle to sheath. So that has been nightmarish for me. So I would go to sheath my weapon by pressing square, but instead I would actually end up consuming a potion or something like that, or throwing something. Just ridiculous. Absolutely terrible. So to be completely honest, I would personally sanction and encourage the use of break arts just on that basis. Like if you're a sword and shield user, having to deal with that swapping around of buttons, just awful. Truly, truly terrible. I mean, it would take a little bit of getting used to if you had played Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G before playing this game. But seriously, if you've played as many Monster Hunter games as I have, and they change the sheathing button, and they make it so that that sheathing button causes you to consume an item instead, that's really bad. Your muscle memory is not going to recover. Or, I suppose it's not going to adapt is what we'll say. Your mental stability will not recover if you have to endure that. And I did, and it only recovered because I was able to get break arts. I do feel spoiled by it. But to be honest, it was going to be either break arts or no sword and shield, because that kind of fuckwittery is just, I will not countenance that. Like, to suggest that I would brook a change of sheathing button. Whoa. How did I get to Hunter rank 3 already? Maybe I did more than a Conga. No. How much did I hunt? I don't remember. Anyway, what I have established very clearly is that I need to make some changes to my settings, because while running OBS, for some reason, this game does not run all that well. I'm shocked, to be honest. I don't know if I should blame the emulator or blame something else. At this stage, like, my instincts tell me that I should be blaming the emulator, because you guys have seen it, Monster Hunter Tri runs fine. So why would there be default settings on a PlayStation 2 emulator that would cause the game to run poorly? I don't understand. Because the Wii is obviously more taxing on your system than, or one would imagine that Wii graphics and textures would be more taxing on your system than PlayStation 2 graphics. However, Dolphin is a more mature emulator than PCXS 2, so PCSX or XS? Let's have a look. Is it PCSX? It's PCSX, sorry. I always forget that. I need to join these guys again, but at this stage, I don't want to continue while I've got an issue with my game performance where the actual emulator itself is slowing down. I'll let them know. Really? How do I get an apostrophe? What language keyboard do I have? It's not US standard, which is actually what I typically use, shockingly. I almost regret to admit. Where's apostrophe? I think the English keyboard has apostrophe somewhere weird. Well, what the hell's that? I just changed like the... Okay, no apostrophes then. I'll be back later. My emulator is slow. Alright. So, what I'll probably do for those watching the VOD is I will make an edit, and then those watching live, I don't know, you can... Well, actually, no one is watching live. How about that? Because I'm recording at a terrible time of day for my audience, which I accept. So what I'm going to do is I'll make an edit, and I will see you guys hopefully back in that room, actually, and we'll give the game performance another try, hopefully after I've mucked around with the settings a little bit. I'll see you then. Let's go and hunt with Chizu and Nobu. We're back, everyone. We're going to give this performance a try. What I've done is I've altered two settings. I've changed the internal resolution of the game, and I have also changed something called the MIP mapping. Whatever that is. So, Synchro has entered the city, which is good. We now have a group of 4 people, which is going to work well for us. I think the game... I am noticing that the game is running better here in Dundorma, which will suggest to me, or does suggest to me, that the game's going to run better during hunts as well, which is definitely what we want. Are these people on a quest? They certainly are. I don't know if I should wait for them or just hunt with Synchro. Oh, he just disappeared. Is there a way to fast travel here? I don't think there is, so I think he's either disconnected or he had a weird network issue there. Anyway, let's have a look at our quests. Jeez. We've got Gendrum and Blue Yankakku. I am not entirely sure what I should be doing here. Probably focusing on Guild's Choice. They are not the only quests that I can do. You can see that I have a few more to choose from than just what's in Guild's Choice. But perhaps if I do Guild's Choice, that will get me through my key quests. I don't know. Maybe it would be more accurate to say that I'm not going to progress unless I reach a certain hunter rank, and that may or may not require the completion of certain quests. I'm just going to keep completing quests and see how I go. So far, I've been progressing fairly quickly. I'm currently at hunter rank 3, and I have reason to suspect that I've only killed 2 monsters while online here. So, there you are. I could be wrong. Maybe I've completed more quests than that. What I could possibly do is just look through my quest list. I miss the old-fashioned days when I could just get access to all the fucking quests in one page. Let's be honest. How about I go based on monster type? So we've killed Cephadrome. That was the quest that we did just before with the terrible performance. There was a different Kongolala quest that I completed. It apparently was not Pink Ape's territory. And there's nothing for Flying Wyverns, that's fine. No, stop. Come on. I think that was someone. No, I thought I saw that Chizu had come back. I was wrong. Okay, and then Bird Wyvern. Okay, so I have killed, I think, only 2 monsters and I'm at hunter rank 3, so that's a good thing. I do still want to progress through the village. That's still important to me, but I don't know, it's so fun to hunt with other people that actually I may not bother doing that. I mean, I will do it, but what I mean is that I will not force myself to complete the village before continuing into the online. I've worked a little bit through the village, but yeah. I don't know if I want to actually sit here and wait for these people or not. I suppose I will. Maybe Synchro and I can do a basic hunt. I'm asking him if he wants to hunt with 2 or to wait. As you can see, communication is fairly simple. I suppose the only problem is that sometimes you can see where it says Synchro entered the city. It doesn't just automatically move the word so that it's not cut off. That's frustrating. I don't like that aspect of it. But aside from that, it is pretty good communication. Better than any of the fucking portable games, that's for certain. Alright. What do you reckon, Synchro? I'm fine with 2, he says. Okay, well in that case I will do some of my quests that I see on my board. We're not going to do Blue Young Ku right now, but I will certainly do Gendrome. The reason why I'm going to do Gendrome is because I don't want to force ourselves to only hunt with 2 of us. I'd rather hunt with a group of 4. So, if we do Gendrome, then maybe we can get it completed before Chizu and Nobu come back. That would be the best case scenario. I understand that this might not be the most exciting quest in the world, but you know what? Some HRP is better than no HRP, and I've only just started out, so give me a break, guy with Jawblade. Which is called the Wyvern Agito in this game. Alright. We shall find out if the game runs better. To be honest, it doesn't need to run perfectly, it just needs to be an improvement upon the previous hunt, because the previous hunt was pretty bad. That was barely acceptable. Ironic considering that I was getting considerably better performance out of Monster Hunter Tri, which is illogical, really. It makes sense insofar as Dolphin is a very good emulator, but no, still not a great excuse. PlayStation 2. I mean, I suppose the Wii and the PlayStation 2 were both coming out with games at the same time. This is technically true. Okay, so, hold on. We are hunting what? We're hunting Gendrome, so we'll try to find him this way. I also suspect that quests where you've got 4 hunters will probably cause more performance issues, because that's precisely how it is in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate when I'm playing on Citra. The emulator will actually have more slowdown if I'm hunting with a group of 4 versus 3 or whatever, so yeah, that may also be why it's running more smoothly now than it was before. I'm on the lookout for Gendrome. My eyes are peeled. Whoa. Good day. Now, how about game volume? Oh god, it just really tanked there. Game volume actually seems appropriate, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I can see... I have reason to suspect that it's better this time, but I don't know, like, whoops. Guys, I may have to... I never thought I'd say this, but I may have to give DOS a miss. Like, I don't know if I can record it or not. Maybe it's okay, maybe I'm just being overly critical and I just need to relax. I don't know. Let's just focus on playing the game and see if it really makes a difference on the experience of playing the game. The thing is, speed, it's one thing to lose frames, it's another thing to lose speed. Losing speed is bad fucking news. That's emulator garbage right there. I don't know if that was me hitting him or something else. That must have been something else hitting him. Oh god. Yeah, these Cephalos are very aggressive. I suppose what I'll do is I'll do one recording of DOS just so you guys can see it. If you happen to not be bothered by the performance issues, then that's great, but just in case it is unacceptable, I will not do a second recording just because it's, you know, for me, it is substandard, so we'll put up with it for now. But it's not the end of the world, just expect more Monster Hunter Tri. I was expecting to do both DOS and Tri, but if it's only Tri between those two games, so be it, and I'll play many other games as well, like the PSP games. If you want to see some first-gen Monster Hunter, I'll do some Monster Hunter Freedom. And if you want to see some 2nd gen, I will do, I suppose, both Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and Freedom 2. Cannot hold more items. Yes, that is something that I really need to address. I have been negligent when it comes to that. I must visit my box in my home. I should be gathering. I will have a look around for... This is really not the place to be gathering, actually. Really isn't. Oh yeah, for those of you wondering why I haven't been playing Monster Hunter Frontier... Basically, I have reason to believe that my server that I made my character on kind of sucks, so I need to port my character over to a new server, and as soon as I realized that I might have to do that, I thought, no, I might not continue playing until I'm ready to do that. And the reason why is because I don't know if I'll be able to do that smoothly. Because I don't know if I can do it smoothly, I don't want to put too much time into a character that's on one specific server. I want to have the confidence that I can move my character from server to server and not have wasted my time building that character. If that makes sense. Making strange noises now. I also am averse to the idea of my character being stuck on some person's server rather than being on my computer. I don't know if that's precisely how it works. I haven't looked into it yet, but I don't need jungle onion. Fuck off. Yes, it can be used as well, it is used as ingredients for food, but I am not interested right now. So I got 170 points for that? That's nothing. That's really little. So I guess I will not be doing any Gendrome for HRP grinding. I said when that guy joined my quest, well, some HRP is better than nothing. Well, that's almost nothing, actually. Also, how nice is it to have save functionality? Look, save functionality at the conclusion of a fucking quest while playing in city mode. This is why I don't understand Monster Hunter Tri and them doing that. It's funny to see that that's not how it was in this game either. I knew that it wasn't that way in Monster Hunter 1 and Monster Hunter G. And that enough on its own caused me to question why Tri decided that they weren't going to have an autosave. But seeing that they have it in DOS too, come on. What's going on? Here's Chisu. I will say hey to him. And I will make my way to my house. Because I have work to do. I may as well make an attempt to eat, and I will also put all this away. Very good. Oops, wrong button. It's so nice to have auto-sorting and space in my box. Really refreshing, actually. I'm definitely not used to it from 1st gen. It's one of those gripes that I have with 1st gen, but you get used to it, I guess. Something that I'm not used to is having almost nothing to choose from in terms of food. You do actually have to keep stock of your own fucking ingredients when you make food in this game. Can I just cancel out of this? Jeez! I made several attempts to get out of that dialogue and not eat, and it just didn't work. Miserable. Alright, so what is the hunter rank of Chisu? Because I forgot. I think it's 5. I could be wrong, or I could not be. I don't know, name search. I think that's his name, isn't it? Search. No results found. That is your fucking name. Why does that yield no results? It's fine, I'll check your HR the old-fashioned way. You are HR 5 with a loadout that suggests you've played offline, which is really what you should be doing. I don't want to do this basic stuff. Let's do Blue Yankaku. How about that? I don't really need increased health at this point. It's the early game. I can definitely make do with 100 HP. So, yeah, if it feels like that's becoming a challenge, I will just be more conservative with my play and just ensure that I don't take much damage. These are all very familiar monsters to me, so Yeah, I'm not all that concerned about losing a lot of health. Technically, with limited defense, it does increase the amount of potions you're going to have to use, but my defense is 26, which to be honest is enough. Now this is not going to become the Lord Zor show. I don't have to be the only one who posts here, but they both seemed at ease and perfectly comfortable with me posting my stuff, because neither of them took it upon themselves to post, so I have made the assumption that they're happy to do whatever I'm doing. Alright. Looks like I was able to take that successfully. It's a good start. If you don't see the animation where it goes towards your bag, it means someone got it before you did. That's the golden rule. Blue Yang Kukku. I'm going to let Synchro go that way and I'll go this way. It's good to cover as much ground as possible. I'm not worried about making the journey to get to the monster, it's just important that we find the monster so that it stays in place. Then we can all get to it. If no one can find the damn thing, we're going to be running in circles for a while. Speaking of running, that crab was really running after me. Ow. Give it a rest, man. That's one thing that really doesn't change from 1st gen to 2nd gen. It is the... Well, it does improve slightly, but Bullfango are still a nightmare. Most definitely. I don't know where Synchro has or hasn't been, so I will check in this area just in case. Aha. Kukku is over that way. Notice how Synchro doesn't need to ping, he just needs to engage the monster and throw a paintball. That's the way you do it. Is there any harm in pinging? Not really, it's just... I don't like it, okay? I've got this thing against pinging. I can't help it. So yeah, Kukku here is not going to be an issue at all. My weapon here is more than strong enough to deal with him. And it's not just me hunting here, so there you are. I'm not sure what Chizu is doing. Is he just hanging around at camp? Like, is he actually AFK? Oh no, he's here. He's moving around. Wonder what he was up to then. Busy with something, apparently. I'm really surprised that Breakarts has gone to the trouble of allowing for, you know, let's say PSP Monster Hunter healing with Sword and Shield. I'm really surprised. Because that's not just changing it to one button, that's like an actual combo. Like, that's a button combination that must be fulfilled. And that's going the extra mile to change that. Because again, if it was previously just pressing square with the weapon unsheathed, changing it from square with the weapon unsheathed to needing to shield and then press square, like that's not just changing the button, that's, like I said, a series of buttons that needs to be pressed in order to do it. So I feel like that would be harder to make work. It's pretty cool that they went to that trouble. Here you go, there's a head opportunity. Let's see if I can get to the head in time. Yep. I'm under attack by my teammate. I think, honestly, that the performance of the game is acceptable. I don't think it's perfect, but I do think that it will suffice. I'll double check that it is recording correctly. Yes, it is. And game volume, again, that's fine. That's slightly louder than it was with my try recording previously, but it's not too loud either, and I'm happy with that. Which works anyway, because I've slightly boosted my mic audio anyway. Oh. No, you're not leaving. I do have another weapon, and that is a bow, but it's not an amazing bow. There are better bows out there, and I can assure you that having access to this poison, not just, poison coatings, which I suppose would be a comparison for me to make, this, obviously, can poison multiple times in one confrontation. Having access to that kind of damage really makes this a much better choice than my bow. But if I do become really bored of using this weapon during this recording, and if I suspect that you guys are bored of seeing it, I will use a bow. The thing is, it's a raw bow. It has no status or element to it, so it's rather boring. It's unsatisfying. That's how I feel with those. With that weapon type, without an element. If you're leaving again, I swear. I'm certain that you are, because you're an asshole. Oh no, maybe he's just flying around. No, he is flying away. I just watched him fly away. Believe it or not, they decided to design it so that Kut-Ku flies through a solid fucking object. Oh no, maybe he is just flying around aimlessly. Can I get eyes on him? There he is. Now watch him. He's going to fly into a solid object at least once. Like, why design him in that way? Watch, he'll go inside the mountain. Where is he? Yeah, well, maybe he went around it, okay. All I can tell you is that before I saw him pass through that wall. Okay? Just because it didn't happen this time didn't mean that it never happened. I did catch it on camera. Fucking wind pressure. Right, you finally landed. It's time for you to face the music. Because quite frankly, that just looked like you were delaying the inevitable. There you go, good knockdown. Yeah, I'll definitely be sharpening up. Kut-Ku is somewhat tolerable with yellow sharpness, but I'm not going to inflict that on myself or on you. There we go, another knockdown. Who said it never pays to hit the legs of a monster? Well, I suppose for me, there is a temptation to... Well, for anyone, there's a temptation to just aim for the head of the monster. You get that a lot in first and second generation. I only ever hit the head. Because it's so much more damaging. But, it is also enjoyable to hit the legs until you get a trip and then aim for the head once he's stuck in place. And there's a positive thing there's a positive aspect, I can't freaking talk today. There's a positive aspect to a knockdown taking place when you've got a group of people attacking the monster as well, because that's not just one person who can take advantage of the head being in one place for an extended period of time, that's 3 or 4 people who can take advantage of that, so... Knockdowns online are even better. I have to say, this Kut-Ku seems to have considerably increased health compared with, say, a solo Kut-Ku, my god. Because he's been taking quite a bit of poison damage from me, and I'd say we're hitting him fairly consistently, so... He's not showing any signs of weakness yet, and I suppose that's a good thing. We do, even at the early stages of the game, or perhaps particularly at the early stages of the game, want to have substantial hunts that feel meaningful. As you can see, I don't have to be that careful with the Kutku. He is not punishing me very much at the moment for playing aggressively. There we go, we've got the ears down. There is our first sign of weakness. Let's see if we can get him before he can limp out. Trying to get in position to hit the head. I was largely unsuccessful. He managed to, just limping, he managed to deal a little bit of damage to me there. That's quite ridiculous, isn't it? That him limping is actually harmful to me. That's old Monster for you. But as I was saying, I have become used to analog stick controls. I'm very comfortable with it now. I suppose the one thing about it that's not quite so comfortable is having to get used to using the claw again from my PSP days. You do end up having to use the claw on your PlayStation 2 controller if you're using that style of combat, analog stick combat. But again, it has its own charm, and it forces you to play the game a certain way. It's a different sort of way of playing. Like what you're physically doing on your controller, and the sensation of using your weapon is different when you're using an analog stick as well. So when you get used to it, you can see the good things about it. You can see that charm that I mentioned. Instead of just sitting there going, oh my god, this is a terrible design. Where the hell is the monster? Okay. I genuinely lost sight of the monster for a moment there. But yeah, like I said, I'm not using the analog stick because I have the choice not to. I feel like I would be inflicting that on myself if I decided not to use this as an option. The break arts, that is to say. Alright, there you go. That is Blue Yankaku. That took us 10 minutes. Which, like I said, is a good thing because it's substantial. At this point, I'm happy just killing random monsters to get HRP, because in killing random monsters, I will be amassing materials. Leave me alone. I have carving to do so. But yeah, I am amassing materials, accumulating wares, and that's a good thing for forging armor and weapons in the long run. I don't know how much it's going to help me to have low-rank blue Yankaku parts, but anyway. I just realized something, and it's a strange thing to admit, but either I forgot, but I would assume that Monster Hunter DOS is a high-rank game. I just realized that. I suppose it doesn't have G... In fact, that is true, yes. The first second generation G-rank game was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. I remember that now. That's so funny. The reason why I wasn't so sure at first, like as I was speaking to you there, was because, again, this is the first time I've really played DOS properly, where I'm getting involved with the online, and it was the first time I really thought about what it meant for it to be a high-rank game in terms of balancing, and it made me think, is this a high-rank game? Yes, it is a high-rank game, yeah. It's good, because I always knew that instinctively. I knew that, you know, Freedom Unite was the second G-rank game. Sorry, I guess it's the third G-rank game, isn't it? Because you also have Monster Hunter Freedom. So, Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter Freedom, because Freedom is indeed the PSP port of Monster Hunter G. Not a perfect port, it is slightly different, but yes, that is also a G-rank game. And then you've got Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. So yeah. I had a feeling I was being an idiot in asking that question. I was like, why am I uncertain of this? Should be quite obvious. Alright. Let's put our stuff away. That is a discipline that we definitely need. Our box space is more precious than ever. Although, to be honest, well, not our box space, our bag space, because we only have 2 pages. Not 3, 2. So, when you're not able to send items directly to your box at the end of a quest, and you've only got 2 pages of pouch space, that means you need to have enough space free in your pouch in order to accept all the items at the end of a quest. Otherwise, you will be in a rather awkward situation. I think I'm going to get a jacket in just a second because it's actually quite cold. Because of the change to my setup, I'm actually now sitting slightly closer to an air vent, which is bringing cold air into my apartment, and yeah, it's actually making me quite chilly. I'm happy for Synchro to post something. I do not need to be the only person doing that. I'm just doing random stuff anyway, so I would be perfectly content to have people post whatever they would like, as long as it's not gathering shit. I don't want to do anything gathering related. That's ridiculous. Because I don't want to delay these guys with their questing, what I will do is I will ready up, and then I will go and get a jacket. I will be back momentarily. I'm back, and I'm feeling much warmer now. As one would imagine, after putting on a jacket. Okay. I see Peaberry's made it to the hunt. My hair is just... made it to the hunt. Made it to the live stream. Why is my hair so unruly? Look at that. That little bit right there wants to fucking stick out. It's ridiculous. Yes, good evening to you as well. Alright. Synchro is almost dead, so this guy is in need of swift assistance. My earphone is like getting stuck on... dealing with a green screen falling on me. I'm dealing with my earphones unplugging from my audio interface. God, so complicated. I just want to play the game. Alright. Stop. Damn green screen. Alright, let me get my chats up. My channel. Videos. That is how you pronounce that. Videos. It's the morning for you? Yes. I assumed so. Alright. Deodorant ×2. Seems like none of my fellow hunters want to be deodorized when they have excrement thrown on them, or indeed expelled onto them by the abrupt anal opening of a Congalala. I don't really know why I had to describe it in those terms, but I suppose for comical reasons, but yeah, or comedic reasons. Yeah, you keep away. Here we go. Look who's getting farted on. Yeah, almost caught that on camera. I was basically able to catch the imminent arrival of the fart, and then Chizu getting thrown away, but I just missed the fart moment. My camera is paused. Is that right? Oh, maybe it... yeah, that is very much paused. It must have... It does happen very occasionally. It's not common. I'm glad that you're here to catch that, because it would be rather... Oh, is it? No, don't change to that. What the fuck? I definitely don't want that. Did I just get pushed out of the area? It looks like it. I very much got pushed out of the area. Okay, I unplugged it and plugged it back in. It may have slightly unplugged itself. In fact, I'm certain that that's what it was, because I was adjusting my earphones, and I think in so doing I must have slightly unplugged my webcam, so let's fix that now. I have not done very much to assist these people in their quest, but yeah, I'll try to improve upon that. Something I also need to improve upon is my goddamn green screen. Stop it! If you keep seeing, like, light shifting all over the... Can you see this thing moving around? Like, what the fuck? You need to behave yourself. Now that should suffice, I hope. God damn. Alright, I'm gonna get killed if I'm not careful, so... Yeah, well, you think this is a tumultuous start? I've been live for 1 hour and 20 minutes, if you can believe it. If you're wondering why I'm only just now getting my chats up, it's because no one was here. So, yeah, anyway. I was having performance issues with the hardware and also, well, not hardware, with the software, with the emulator. Still having on and off performance issues, and I'm still trying to assess whether or not I want to continue recording DOS in general, because it seems that this emulator is not great when I have OBS running, which is frustrating. I can't believe that it's that way, but whatever. It is what it is. Where did the Congalala go? I think I know where. I assume... Oh, unless Chizu is on the right path. No, Chizu is not on the right path at all. We certainly were. Your bone just pushed me off target. I was not expecting your bone to have that kind of effect. Is that a Velocidrome? That's a Velocidrome. Jeez. Well, the party has definitely started. Why do I have so little stamina? Did I not get rations? What am I doing with myself? I don't know my head from my asshole right now. I just hope that this Congalala dies soon, because I'd like to be done with this as soon as possible. I don't know why, I just feel like this has been a bit of a messy quest. I'm trying to... This is a problem with my controller. I'm trying to press triangle and circle. And yes, I am doing that in DOS, as I previously mentioned. But it just doesn't want to register, because my controller sucks, and I need to get a new one. I was quick to praise it when I bought it, and then I realized through actually using it, oh, actually it's not very good. Which was disappointing, but fine. I will get another one at some point. Eventually. Eventually. Oh, he's sniffing around. What's he sniffing for? I actually don't know what causes him to sniff like that. Is it just a random quirk, or is there something behind it? Does it mean that he's hungry? Maybe it means that he's hungry. Maybe he does that because he wants to find mushrooms to eat. Here we go. What's he after? He's sniffing for mushrooms. That's what's going on. Farcaster was stolen. Get the fuck away from my Farcaster. No. Are you for real? What's going on with my depth perception? I thought I was within range. You prick! You stole my Farcaster. And I couldn't even get it back. I tried my utmost and... Oh, that's not as easy as you might think. Melinks in 1st and 2nd gen are just miserable, quite frankly. They are tricky buggers. Tricky. I don't know if I'm going a long way or what. I probably am. Yeah, I'm sort of going a long way. I'll still get there, but... particularly before these people, because I don't know what they're doing, but... Yeah. Synchro is going the faster way, but he stopped for a moment. I don't know why. Maybe he had some climbing that he had to do. All three of us took a different route to get here, and I took the second best one, apparently. I don't remember where the stash is on this locale. Yeah, I can't think of it either. Strangely. Yeah, so if I'm doing like a round slash well out of the range of the monster, you can assume that I was actually attempting to do triangle plus circle. That's one thing that you don't have to worry about with analog stick controls. You're never gonna have that issue. Well, it's probably the safest option there. So gross to watch the Congalala's stomach heaving after it's gone and thrown itself onto the ground. Well, there you go. That was a good knockdown. What wasn't so good is Synchro upswinging his greatsword like that. Well, he was about to jump and then he decided that he was hurt instead. He changed his mind. Oh my god. Yeah, there have been people who have... Well, no, actually. I may have misread that at some point. I was about to say what people have said about DOS, and then I realized that I think that was in reference to a different game while I was looking through messages on the old school Discord server. Yeah, I just have to press the buttons with a little bit more determination, a bit more intensity. Not sure how we're doing in terms of damage, but I am sure that we have been in this quest for 10 minutes now and this thing's still alive, which is fine. But I would like to try and get this done in less than 15 minutes. For some reason or another. I suppose I always aim for that, no matter what. Try to get it under 15 minutes. It's not the end of the world if we don't manage it, but... It's good to set goals for oneself. There you go. I'm just going to assume that Congalala just pissed himself. There's a little twinkle of urine on the ground after that. Just a little twinkle. Just peed a little bit. It happens. Sometimes you get to that point. There's not much you can do about it. Alright. Starting to get into the low potion territory. Once you're sitting on 4 potions and that's it for your healing wares, I would say that it's safe to say that you don't have much in the way of healing wares. That was a very long-winded way of explaining that. But I think I got my point across. In the end. My stamina sucks. Yes, I know. It's always the same, but it's... I don't know why it's so bad this time. I must not have taken rations. That's the only explanation. I think I forgot rations. Yeah, I know. Oh well. I'm always able to make do somehow. Can't deny that. Through great adversity sometimes, but can still make do. He just threw dung at me. Monsters must quite like Congalala because it's an opportunity for monsters to give the hunter a bit of a taste of their own medicine. The hunter keeps throwing dung at the monsters, well, Congalala can dish it back. Although there is a lot less of that in 1st and 2nd gen. Dung bombs are probably closer to smoke bombs, to be honest. I think as a monster is landing, if you've got a dung bomb down, like a flying wyvern for example, if there is a dung bomb down and the monster is landing, it will cause the monster to immediately leave. But it's not something you can just put down and it'll work at any point. It's a rather finicky, temperamental little thing. It looks like a brown smoke bomb, and it does not work in the same way as regular dung bombs. Well, the dung bombs that you may be more familiar with is what I'll say. They suck. Here we go, we've got a sleeping Congalala. Who can do the best wake-up hit? Synchro. I will leave it to him. Get it done, man. Don't be shy, you're the greatsword person. Synchro. Thank you. You haven't destroyed his haircut yet. Why is his haircut... Actually, no, his haircut is destroyed, silly me. That's why it looks like that. Looks like a bird's nest. Apparently I don't know what a good Congalala haircut looks like. Because I described this as his haircut. This is the absence of a Congalala haircut. This is what would happen if you sat on it. That's why I think it's quite funny that it looks like that. Oh. Glad I was not in range to get hit by the expanding stomach attack. That has to be one of the best monster attacks in the world. Expanding stomach. I'm so fat. That is, if you were killed by that, it would be acceptable to say that you had been killed by Congalala's fatness. Weaponized obesity. Well, he's not obese, he's just, I don't know, well endowed in the abdomen region. The word's abdominal, Doomlink, that's the word. Well endowed in the abdominal region. Good hunt. See the ease with which I can communicate with these people? This is on the PlayStation 2, keeping in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that I can't do this in Monster Hunter Tri. A Wii game. Again. Oh, God, my fucking green screen. Stop it. Behave yourself. Well, look at what it immediately proceeds to do. Okay. That should have fixed it, I think. I hope. But yeah, let me demonstrate that again. Just the ease with which I can talk to these people. Pink monkey down. No, they don't, P-Bear. Sadly not. You can't type during a quest in those games. I mean, unless... Yeah, maybe you can. I don't think you can. I'm quite sure that you can't. Either... Yeah, there is a 3DS keyboard. I'm just saying that I don't think you can do it during a quest. Maybe you can and I'm just remembering it wrong. I just remember being very frustrated when... No, I'm quite sure you couldn't. Quite sure you couldn't. You can, yeah, you can freely type. I mean, it's... Like, how else are you going to make your own shouts, right? But you can't do it in a quest. Anyway. Retrieving area info. So now that I've reached HR4, I don't know if I have access to more quests. They've gone so far as to give me a title for reaching HR4. But I feel like that's too fast to be a new rank. I don't know how the quest system works in this game, I genuinely don't. I'm familiar with how it works in the offline. Oh, it's Yamatori. Well, there you go. I'm assuming he knows my in-game name. He is HR15, there's his loadout. Alright, what I mean to say is that I understand how the quest system works in the offline well enough, I guess. But how do urgent quests work? Like, how does quest progression really work in this game? It's like when you're playing online in the city mode. I haven't worked that out yet. I'm just going to keep advancing through hunter ranks until I figure it out, I suppose. Just do random quests. Apparently I'm the only person here with the status questing. No one else is questing, it's just me. He immediately said to me, I need to reach H. Oh, maybe he's watching live. I hadn't even considered that. Yeah, I guess Yamatori's watching live, that's why he said that. He said I need to reach HR10, which I assume is when I get the next urgent quest, or rather my first urgent quest. I would like to be honest, hunt with Yamatori as the 4th hunter. I don't know if I'm really in a position to negotiate that. But I have been hunting with Chizu and Synchro. What, 4 exams? What do you mean 4 exams? Okay. It's a weird way to describe it. If they're called exams, then that's rather odd. Okay. What other quests haven't we done? Oh yeah, there's Purple Gypsurus, and you know what, let's do that quest. I will change to a bow. It's not going to be a very exciting loadout. It will at least be different to what I've been using prior to this point, but it's not an extremely strong weapon. It's appropriate actually for this monster. It's the Hunter's Bow 3. At least it's been leveled up to level 3. Interestingly enough, it didn't give me an option to upgrade it further while playing offline, so I wonder if I go to the foundry here, if it gives me the option to upgrade it. Either that, or this thing is not going further. Yep, that is it. I think it is safe to say that this thing cannot be upgraded further at all. Let's see if I've got other options for forging bows. I have a few options, probably. Actually, no, that's it. Just Queen Blaster, actually. Which is alright, actually, for spread. I'm happy with that. I don't have much in the way of Rathian parts for some reason. Yeah, it's probably just the camera angles. I think the size is roughly the same, P-Berry. Alright, what am I doing? I'm going to the tavern. Alright, Synchro has posted a quest. I will continue with the bow, it doesn't really matter. Congalala again, alright. The Pink Apes Territory, I haven't done this quest yet. This particular Congalala quest is one that I haven't done, so that will be good. I will indeed purchase potions, that's important. And I will make sure that I get power coatings. Let me make sure that I can shoot them. I'm quite sure that I can. Where's my... Hello? Hunter's notes. No, it is status. There we go. Equipment status. And then I can see that it does shoot power coatings. It in fact shoots all coatings, which is lovely. I'll bring power, poison, and paralysis. Yamatori has joined up on the quest, which is good. Well, hold on. Rem has joined. Chisu has been... this is where it gets difficult. This is one of the problems with having a 10-person room. Chisu has been hunting with myself and Synchro for some time now. But, you know, how do we assert the fact that he has the right to take the quest spot? I guess we do it verbally. We do this weird thing called communicate, but it's sort of... It's weird to have to say that. I'm not used to it yet. But, yeah, I'm not really in a position where I can tell Rem that I would rather Yamatori play with me, and then... So in other words, have Yamatori be player 4, and then Chisu remains player 3. That's sort of... That's weird. It's a strange conversation to have. I'm just going to ask if Chisu is playing... Like, he actually was in this room before me, so... Yeah, I would definitely give him priority. I ask not to press him to join the quest as soon as possible, but rather just to say... Or rather to figure out if I can have Yamatori take his spot. He is leaving. Okay. Well, there we go. We needn't have been quite so courteous to him. Oh, hold on. Don't depart, Synchro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stop! I was concerned seeing him walk towards the departure area like that. Alright, let's go. So again, I equipped this bow because I'm not going to use a poison weapon against a Gypceros, but then Synchro posted a quest, which is fine. I will do his quest, and then I will proceed to post purple Gypceros. We will instead hunt another pink monkey. I don't know if he needs the materials or what, but at this stage, I'm pretty open to doing whatever, because I just want HRP. Alright. One thing I'll say is that I do like the interface visually on the heads-up display for the bow. Looks pretty cool. I do have to say though that the coatings, like the vials, they're really wide. Strange looking, but I like this. I like the way it looks. I also like that off button. Looks pretty good. Come on. Stop. Thank you. This is a weird thing. Okay, see how your bow is held high? This is a weird thing with coatings in this game. If your bow is held high, you can't change the coating. But once your arm goes to that relaxed position, then you can change the coating. It's weird, but it's true. I might start with poison, actually. But yeah, as I said, this is not the most satisfying bow to use in the world because it doesn't have... Well, I suppose it has status because I'm about to shoot it with status, but, you know, raw bows for me are just a bit boring. Oh, hold on. It looks like Congalala starts in 10, so we will make our way over there first and foremost. I'm not going to go through 5, 6, 8, 3, 10. That would be... I would be remiss if I were to do such a thing. But yeah, the heads-up display of this game is very nice. I think it's a shame when people play a PSP game with a mod that gives them the Monster Hunter DOS heads-up display, because to me, It takes away the enjoyment of coming onto Monster Hunter DOS and playing that game. You know, this game is already quite similar in a lot of ways to, say, Freedom Unite. It's very different in a lot of ways as well, but why strip it of part of its uniqueness by just bringing the heads-up display into some other game? Like, just keep it in this game. The HUD is part of what makes a Monster Hunter game unique, you know. It's a small thing, but it's something that you're looking at a lot, so I think it's significant. I think this is the first time, this is the first time I've hunted with 4 people with my new graphical settings arrangements. So, yeah, I am starting to see that the game struggles with 4 people. I don't know why. It's frustrating, it makes me angry. It makes no sense to me that the game would run so fucking poorly on my computer. Despite the fact that this is a PlayStation 2 game, I mean, what the hell? Why is it so poorly optimized? I don't know. I'm telling you, like, there should be more than enough, but apparently this is a slow computer. Yeah, an i7 7700K and a 1080 Ti, slow computer. Brilliant. Now that I have inflicted poison, I'll probably move on to paralysis. Just to support the team. But yeah, case in point, like, Tri pretty much runs perfectly. It has a few hiccups and stutters here and there, but that seems to be more to do with emulation than anything else. But this actually has full-on slowdown, much like Citra would have. So I don't know what the fuck the deal with that is. I'm just starting to get sick of it. You know, I'm playing old video games here. There's absolutely no reason for me to be having performance issues. Not ones that I consider to be reasonable anyway. Like, no reasonable explanation can be given for why it's running like this. Whatever. Maybe I can blame OBS, I'm not sure. When are we getting our paralysis? Well, just got run over. Rem says, haha, funny. I don't know if that's sarcastic and passive-aggressive or what. Synchro just got body slammed. Regrettable for him. And Rem has also fainted. What's going on? We were actually having a lot more success hunting as a group of 3 than we are as a group of 4. And stupidly, I've spent all this fucking time shooting paralysis. I wasn't even able to paralyze the monster to start with, so that was just a complete waste. And then second of all, even if the paralysis had gone out, there only would have been 2 of us to take advantage of it. What a joke. Nightmare. Got a nice little close-up of a Vespoid there. I would like to be getting the face a bit more consistently. I need to destroy his haircut, remember? Guess I can fire into his asshole instead. That's always something that gives pleasure to the whole family. Alright. Oh, I didn't even notice the little monster that gets longer when I... no, it's a fish, I think. Looks like it's meant to be a fish. It's... Oh no, there's 2 heads. There's actually 2 heads. So one head has the square button in its mouth, and then the other head is closed. Or the other mouth is closed, whatever. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. Little details with the heads-up display. It's cool. I mean, some people might think it's over-designed. I don't think it is at all. The reason why I say people must think that it's over-designed is, why else would people streamline heads-up displays? Why has it become something almost old-fashioned to have a nice, stylized heads-up display? Like, what's fucking wrong with that? And is that really something that people don't want? don't know. But it must be something that people think is just over-designed or perhaps pretentious. I don't know. Like, there has to be a reason why it's no longer that way. I don't know who to blame. Is it gamers? Like, did gamers get together and say, we don't want over-designed heads-up display. We want super basic, clean heads-up displays. Yeah, clean my arse. More like generic and uninspired and boring. That's the way I see modern heads-up displays, and Monster Hunter is included in that, of course. But whatever. Congalala will be sleeping in Area 6, so we will try to get to him before he can recover too much of his health. Not that it's going to mean that much, because we'll just make up for all the health that he got back by killing him very quickly, I would imagine. There are 4 of us after all. I'm trying to remember if in the last confrontation with that Congalala I scooped up that little twinkle of piss that he allowed to escape onto the ground into a vial or not. If you don't know what in the precise fuck I'm referring to, because you only just joined the recording, well, you may continue to be confused. I'm glad that I didn't interrupt Synchro's wake-up hit, though, by stupidly shooting my bow. But yeah, no harm in using a possibly suboptimal bow. I mean, I think this bow is level appropriate, I should say. I was able to solo a Plesioth with it in offline, so it can do that at least. But yeah, I do have a group of 4, so it doesn't mean as much. Isn't it nice to be able to play online in this game? I think it's pretty cool. Here we go. It was a long time coming. We waited many, many years for this to be possible. And I, like many others, didn't really hold out hope that it would ever happen, but it did. And, well, I suppose we thought that it would happen eventually. We just didn't think it would be this soon, and it did happen, so I'm pleased to be partaking in the pleasures of hunting online in this game. It was a pleasant surprise to see that it happened so quickly. I do have pickaxes on me, that's good news. I will head north 1 area into Area 8 and do some mining. This is a good mining point up here. It's not like the best one ever, but it's probably the best one of this locale. That's if I'm not interrupted by Velociprey while doing my mining. So far I've had whetstones and earth crystals. Not opposed to the earth crystals, but I can certainly deal without whetstones. Those I can purchase. Get the hell off me. I have a limited time frame in which to mine this bloody node. And you're going to be jumping on my head. Or attempting to jump on my head. I don't appreciate it, and I'll have to ask you to desist. Alright, more jungle onions, which makes sense considering we just killed a big monkey in the jungle. In fact, I would hazard the guess that Congalala actually eats jungle onions. If he likes mushrooms, he probably likes jungle onions. I'm sure he's not exclusively consuming... Oh, that was actually a gold crown small, how about that? I'm sure he's not exclusively consuming mushrooms. He must eat other things. But yeah, a gold crown small, I suppose, is a good achievement. At least I don't have to get that anymore, not that I spent much time grinding for crowns. I only did crown farming in fucking Monster Hunter Tri back on my original character. That was the only time I ever tried to get crowns in a Monster Hunter game. No other game have I been so lacking in things to do than in Monster Hunter Tri, 2,300 hours in, with 18 monsters to hunt. At that point, yeah, I was doing crown farming, okay? But before that point, and after that point, no. No, I've never bothered with crown farming. It's a waste of time, and... well, I've got nothing against people who want to be completionist when it comes to playing these games, but... I've never felt like that's been a worthwhile use of my time. Never. Alright. Now, let's try to get that purple Gypsaurus on the board. Has anyone gotten Vibrant Pelt, or is it a myth? Asks Synchro. Well, I can double check for him, although I can't with any real confidence say that I got it from the online Congolalas. Yeah, I've gotten 2 actually. So yeah, I don't know if I actually got the Vibrant Pelt from these hunts that I've just done, or if I got it while playing offline. But yeah, I do have 2 of them. What was that? Come to my house for free meal. Well, that's very good of you, Yamatori. I will certainly avail myself of your generosity. Yamatori's house is open. Let's go. Here we go. This looks much nicer. I see now that they brought the house from this game into Frontier as well, which is almost an egregious reuse of assets, but whatever. Yeah, how about that? Alright, here's the big table. Oh, it's a big semicircle. Sit in chair. Alright, I'm sitting in chair. At what point do I begin to eat? Can you, like, have us eat a meal? And, like, when we're sitting down? Like, for instance, if we're sitting and you select a meal for yourself, will that automatically feed all of us? Probably. Do we need to mooch a meal? Is the question. Yes, there will be a feline butler. I'm ready. Waiting for the host to select a dish. He's only got 60 seconds to do it. Come on. Otherwise we get kicked out of here. Wasting the time of the chefs. Come on. Expectations are running high. The hunters are hungry. He's only got 30 seconds left to make his decision. Here we go. War wheat, something, and something else. It didn't even do us the courtesy of letting us see what we're eating first. Looks tasty. What's the point of giving him a spoon if he's just gonna eat soup with his hands? What a monkey. Unusual, but delicious. Well, it may be unusual, but what has the effect been on our personal stats? Wherever the fuck I view that. Here we go. No. Yeah. Here we go. Health 140. Stamina 100. Well, can't complain about that. Thank you for your... Oh yes, it's your box, so I can't do anything with it. It looks like there are many incredible treasures contained within, actually. Alright. So, with full stomachs and morale running high... Oh, fuck off. Hold on, let's swamp. You better give me my purple Gypsaurus, that's what I want to say. Alright. So yes, let's take on this purple Gypsaurus. I understand that what's-his-face really wants that vibrant pelt. What's his name? Synchro. I understand he really wants his vibrant pelt, but I really want to kill this monster, I don't know why. I've got a strong desire to dispatch this creature. Shall I try again with paralysis coatings? I suppose I may as well. Here we go. I don't know what's happening with Derry, but Derry is sort of getting the short end of the stick. He's got no one to play with, but he can quite quickly rectify that situation by leaving the room and finding another one to join. He hasn't actually expressed any interest in hunting, so I don't think he's really missing out on anything. I don't think so, Peaberry. I think it might be... It probably wouldn't be the cost of eating 4 times. But I can't say that for certain. My instincts tell me no. Back in Try, when you would feed the table, you had to use a voucher for it. Either a regular voucher or a gourmet voucher. That was how vouchers were used in that game. So, I don't know if there's a similar thing. There might be a ticket that you can use. A limited number of tickets that you can acquire, of course, and then you can use them to host a meal for the people that you're hunting with. So, that would be my guess. I could be wrong, but it's probably ticket-based. No. Now I can change my coatings. Because when I unsheathe, I'm often moving, so I go to add my coatings after unsheathing, but because I loosed an arrow, I have to wait until my arm lowers down, and then I can add my coatings. Talk about annoying. I had the option to purchase Psycho Serums, but I have not yet done so. You never know, Gypceros could be starting in Area 2. And we're just not going in the right direction at all. Alright, how are we going for time? We are 2 hours in now. You stole my rations, you bastard. Stop it. Fucking hell! How many did you take? Just 1? That's still more than I really want you to take, considering that... I mean, that's my fault for not consuming them, I suppose, and that's also my fault for being distracted. But, seriously. Anyway, we're 2 hours in now, so I'm going to have to do another 30 minutes or so to account for the fact that I took time to fix my emulator settings. And then at that point, I don't know. I'll have a shower and watch some anime, I guess, with my friend. At least he's paintballed. Oh, yeah. Thought he was flying away again. Alright, so we'll go for some paralysis. Hopefully it'll work. I can always hope. I probably shouldn't have been so greedy that I just kept shooting there. Come on. Let's make some attempt to evade. Purple rubber turkey. Don't make me waste this coating. Thank you. That would have been annoying. Because remember, last time I used all 20, and I'm pretty sure I got pretty much all of... Let's say pretty a few more times. I am fairly certain that I got all of my coatings on target with that Congalala, and still didn't succeed in paralyzing the monster, so maybe Congalala just has good paralysis resistance. Good paralysis resistance, and I have since forgotten. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if Gypceros, being a poison monster, also had paralysis resistance, that would be going too far, so... Hopefully, 20 paralysis coatings will be enough to paralyze this arsehole. Seven more to go. We will patiently wait for him to finish running around and vomiting. I can't imagine that if your vomiting is going to be of much use to you to... What the hell was that? It's not going to be of much use to you to continue running around. sit down and rest, man. Come on, are we going to get our paralysis? Because if I don't get my paralysis, I'm never doing this shit again. Like, I'm not used to paralysis coatings being so ineffective. No, didn't get it. The monster's almost dead though, that's one bonus. The good thing with ranged combat is that I don't really have to worry about this monster harming me with that wake-up attack. Because the thing is, it's such a good opportunity to hit the monster that you just can't help but hit the monster, even though he's playing dead. And well, like, his most damaging attack is his wake-up attack from faking death, so... Yeah, it is a risk if you're using a Blade Master loadout, but still, you still go for it. But guess what? There's no risk if you're using a bow. You just stay out of his range. And he's doing it again. Don't let him leave. It looks like he's just having a hard time finding the will to fly out of here, to be honest. Looks like he would rather do different and less helpful animations than actually fly out of here. Here we go. Is he going to come back down? Yeah, he's coming back down. He changed his mind. Will he flee or will he fight? What a confusing predicament he's in. And he peed a little. I would do the same. He's probably profoundly confused. And he's dead. Well, I did not mean to pull that out. Alright, Wyvern Tears. Yes. Good hunt indeed. I'm happy with that, and once I have carved this purple rubber chicken, purple rubber turkey, I don't really know what I'm calling it. I think the point still stands, whether it's a chicken or a turkey. I will head into Area 7 and do some mining, and if I have the time, I'll continue into 9 and do some mining, but I won't assume that that's possible. Synchro's got the right idea, I like this guy. Unfortunately, however, me being here is not going to make it easier for us to mine. I've got all of these creatures coming after us. Probably got enough Aquaglow jewels at this point. Yeah, whatever. It's very hard to do any mining in this game, in case you haven't noticed. You end up getting assaulted by 1,000 creatures. I mean, look at this. Unbelievable. Alright. Got some poison sacks. Got a light crystal out of that, which isn't too bad. Yeah, that was considerably faster than Congalala, ironically. Hunter rank up. Hunter rank 5. Which is good. I feel like that's not much HRP. I thought I was getting more than that from other quests, although I could be wrong. I must be wrong, because surely Purple Gypceros is not going to give me less HRP than Congalala or Blue Cuckoo. Or Cephadrome, for that matter. Alright. So I think that's most of the hunting quests that I can do. Perhaps not. There might be duplicate quests. I refer to them as duplicate quests in the sense that I've killed the monster before, but there's like multiple locale quests for that same monster that I may or may not have done, so I guess we'll find out. Hurry up. Alright. Synchro can post Congalala if he really feels like he needs to. He's after that rare Congalala haircut. Because that's what Vibrant Pelt is, it's his haircut. Not his hair, but his haircut. Stop doing this. I keep instinctively pressing start and that causes this to go away, which is fine. can get a better look at my handsome face. But, yeah, what I'm actually intending on doing is sorting my box, which looks alright. Looks like a box that's underway, adding lots of monster materials to it. Not a huge number, but like I said, it's getting there. So much healthier looking than a first gen box. There's some variety of stuff in there. God. I can actually put things like coatings because I've got space. Haven't killed Bulldrome, but I don't really need to bring a team for that. So nothing in the Snowy Mountains and nothing in Volcano, which doesn't surprise me because that's probably for the next rank. Most likely. So again, we are currently at HR 5, so we're halfway there to what I assume is the next urgent quest, or what Yamatori described as tests, or sorry, exams, he said. Exams, that's a bit weird. I'm sure we'll find out when we reach that point, but for now, I will remain curious. Yamatori has changed to Hunting Horn. Ugh. I wonder how that plays in this game. Is it the same as Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite? Or does it have its own weird quirks that are unique to this game? I do not know. But you know what? Don't spoil it for me. I want to find out on my own. I wouldn't be deeply depressed if you spoiled it, but... yeah. I'll just use the Hunting Horn as I'm familiar with it, and then find out, as I use it, whether there are any things that differ from my knowledge. Derry has turned up to post a quest. Well, he can go and do that, and then Muso can go and join him. That sounds like a lovely matchup. It looks like they're both running to the quest giver. Jeez. So we've got Derry at Hunter rank 12, and Muso, no. There we go. Oh, at Hunter rank 19. That's pretty good. Load up with a longsword. Now that's a new one. I've never seen load up with a longsword. What does that mean? Does that mean the Black Belt set is not specifically Blade Master? How's he getting load up? That's so random. Alright, well, you're both posting a quest. I will let Derry have his quest. I really don't care. Anything for sharpness +1. That's true enough. I'm just curious that he can get load up on that quest. This guy's Hunter rank 19 and he's doing Cephadrome. What's going on? Unless it's got like an HR requirement, it might. Does it have an HR requirement? Is it high rank already? I doubt it. No, it doesn't appear to be. Rem doesn't give a shit. That guy has no desire to continue hunting with us as a group of 4. What a prick. And who's to suggest that none of us wanted to join? What the hell is... What's wrong with this Derry guy? What's wrong with this Rem person? Like, two things. Why is Rem just joining up on that quest before, you know, wanting to continue with the previous group of 4? And why is Derry departing with 3? When, like, everyone else is staring at the quest board like, what the fuck? We're only looking out of interest. What's wrong with these people? Anyway. No sense of courtesy. So what have we got? Questing, Hunter Dojo, Grand Tourney. Okay. More like tourney. Yeah. Because I say tournament, so therefore Grand Tourney. Just don't use that word. Busy, solo play, away, no keyboard, private. Ooh. Alright, what's the situation? More Congalala? I keep forgetting that I have the ability to quite effectively communicate with my team now, so Yeah, I have no reason to not ask this question. Synchro says, sure. Yamatori's title is Rathian Hunter. He's got a real thing for Rathian, apparently. So you can see that's quest in progress, and this is now having a quest processing for it. This referring to slot 2. Oh, I see. I have to close it and reopen it to see what the quest is. Very well. Kongalala, Pink Ape's territory, wherever that is. I didn't check the locale. It's probably the jungle. And yeah. Yamatori is switching from Hunting Horn to something that probably deals a little bit more damage, which is good. That's the way I do it as well. I only do Hunting Horn with groups of 4. I wouldn't mind using Greatsword. Keeping in mind that this is the first game that has charging functionality on Greatsword, so yeah, I'd like to give it a try. But bow is also fun to use. Bow is unique to this game. Well, was unique to this game at the time it came out. First appearing in this game, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. So it's interesting to see how that functions. It's the same as Freedom 2 and Freedom Unite from what I can tell. The only difference is it seems to be a little bit more specific about when it allows you to apply coatings. So as I said, if you've just finished shooting an arrow, you can't apply coatings at that point. It's not until you go into like a neutral state where your arm has lowered down that you are permitted to add coatings. That's the only difference that I've actually seen with the bow. As for its general balancing, not sure yet. Haven't been able to make any determinations on that. I am out of coatings. Why did I remove my power coatings anyway? Oh well. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here, and I apologize because, to be honest, this is not the quest where I need to be doing less damage, because we are only 3-man this time, but at least Yamatori is using a strong weapon, so I don't think we have to worry about this being a very long, drawn-out quest. But yeah, I should have really equipped my sword and shield for this. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's kill the Bullfango first. I'm standing still, and I now regret standing still. What the fuck? Why are you going so far? That was good. It was quite cinematic, actually. Oh my god. You are so dead. There we go, and we are hopefully Bullfango-less now. And I hope they remain absent. I'm pretty upset about not having any power coatings, but there's no use crying over spilt milk. Just have to grit my teeth and deal with it. Yep. Trying to get as many shots off on the face as I can, because I am aware of the fact that my bow is probably not dealing much damage to parts of the monster that are not specifically weak. That was poorly aimed. I accept that. I don't know if he can actually deflect my arrows if I shoot his stomach. I think they just bounce off. That's if it works that way in this game. My right analog stick really was not being responsive there. But yeah, I think I'll have this be my last hunt. I can see Synchro is regrettably bouncing with his greatsword. There's a lot of non-charging of greatswords here, so maybe you can't charge your greatsword in this game. Was it really Freedom 2 that was the first one? I thought it was DOS. Maybe you can't charge your greatsword in this game. Oh no, you can. No, they're just not charging their greatswords. Okay, that's alright. I didn't think I was wrong about that. That would be quite an embarrassing thing to get wrong, because I've always thought that you could charge your greatsword in this game, and that this was the first one in which you could do that. And it turns out that I was correct all these years. That's refreshing to know. Same rotation as last time. Area 3 to Area 9. And then hopefully we get a limp into 6. See how lacking in satisfaction that impact is when it's got no additional effect, like an elemental effect? Now, raw damage rapid shots is definitely effective depending on the bow that you have, but it doesn't feel as effective, you know? Because there's less of an effect going on. Less of a visual and auditory effect. Ugh. Nasty. I might get that shiny before I forget about it. I will obviously prioritize healing, for reasons that I needn't expand upon. There was nothing. This is why I always get my shinies. Fortunately, it looks like that Melinx was unable to steal anything from me. Happy to see that. Look who's sniffing around. We all know what that means, don't we? When we see a Congalala sniffing around, it means that he's in search of food, I guess. Well, have we established that? I think so. It at least means that he's going to leave momentarily. Leave the area. That I can confirm. I don't think he's sleeping. I think he's just eating, but he could be sleeping. Don't think he's quite in the position to be sleeping, though. Where he is now, I think. But maybe he is. In which case, I suppose I can praise the effectiveness of Yamatori's greatsword, and that's probably about it. I don't think either myself or Synchro have been doing that much damage. Probably acceptable damage, but not enough to get him to be sleeping. Probably not true. Sorry, I did a wake up. I'm sure you'll get a charge out of the way. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course he was doing charge attacks. He was doing charge attacks for the wake-ups prior to this point, and yet I'm sitting here going, oh, can you charge your greatsword in this game? God. Engage your brain, Doomlink. You might actually find it beneficial. There we go. Alright, so same story as last time. I will carve, and then mine. If I'm not hit by this Velociprey before I can properly carve. But yes, just having that ease of communication actually makes this a more enjoyable experience than try, weirdly enough. You never know, I might end up playing more of this game. We'll see. I do want to play Try though, because it is enjoyable to play that game even without comfortable communication. I like reconnecting with that game. It's a nice feeling. It's nice hunting with you guys, says Yamatori. Well, I'd best add you both to my in-game friends list. I'm assuming that there is an option to do that, so I will attempt to make that work. I managed to fully exploit that node, so that was good. Alright. And our HRP is increasing by about the same amount as... what's he called? Gypsaros. Which is a surprise, I don't know. I consider Gypsaros to be slightly harder, mainly because he's got tougher skin. So you generally need higher, either higher sharpness or just more attentiveness to where you're hitting the monster. Whatever. Let's see if I can add these guys to a friend list. It might not be in DOS, I don't know. We shall find out. Alright. There's no settings option, there's no... Hunter's notes, play info. Alright, looks like Synchro finally got his vibrant pelt, which is good. So there's a... you are able to send short messages to people, but it looks like there is no... oh no, there is a friend list, yeah, here you go. Apparently I have a friend named Hunter. What? I don't remember adding you as a friend. Alright, how do I can probably add you as a friend this way. Yeah, with square. Add the above player to your friends list. Registering new friend. So what, that just gets registered and that's it? It's not like I'm going to send you this request and then you accept it. I just register you? Okay. Well, if that's how it works, then I'll just do that for Yamatori, to be honest. I'm going to say, thanks for hunting, see ya. But yeah, pretty good session. In terms of the performance of the emulator, it seems passable. You know, it's not perfect, I realize that. It's probably below my standards, but it is also passable. This is with the understanding that Try has not been running perfectly. It tends to stutter every now and again. And as long as the recording of this game seems like harmless stuttering here and there, and doesn't really affect the viewing experience. I mean, what's your perspective on it, P-Berry? Did it look like the performance issues were... well, not did it look like, but were the performance issues, like, interrupting the experience at all? Like, the experience of watching the game? Because it wasn't that bad for me to hum, but I don't know if it looked all that bad. Or if it looked terrible. Maybe I'll have to do my own evaluation, but anyway. It also depends on how you watch. Maybe you just listened, so you weren't really watching the hunting. But yeah, I definitely need to check to see if I'm okay with how the game's performing, and if I am, then I'll continue doing Monster Hunter DOS. It would be a shame to not record it, because it is a fun and unique experience to share with you all. So anyway, I shall bid you all farewell for the moment, and I'll see you next time I'm playing Monster Hunter or anything else that you'd like to watch. Bye bye.